Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your co-host on Inspire Nation, along with Hannah Bear. I think she's now taking over the job as host on the Inspire Nation show. All right, we have a lot of ground to cover tonight. I had a amazing channeling before tonight's event. Yeah, your attention, please. Yes, you've got my prayer rock. We want to thank everyone. I'm going to go into this in so much greater detail, but we want to thank, I'm going to take that back here. We want to thank everybody for your kind donations already to the Maui Humane Society. There are so many animals that are homeless, have lost their homes, have lost their moms and dads, are injured or burned or smoke inhalation, or just need help during these times. And so your contribution to the Maui Humane Society is huge. And this is our first fundraiser, and I haven't looked at the numbers here. We've already raised well over $1,000, kind of thanks to your kind help. So thank you. And a mighty woohoo. Is there anything, Hannah Bear, you want to add before we get started? It is past your bedtime. We were trying to get her to bed early. That's not working. All right. Good night. And thank you for making your cameo appearance. All right. Lots to cover with everyone here tonight. And certainly, I'm not sure how it works, but you can click on the donate button on the chat to make a donation. It's maybe the least we can do, or maybe the most we can do, if you can do that. So I want to ground here. We're going to have an amazing channeled experience here tonight. We're going to do a beautiful heart coherence meditation as one at the end. And I'm certainly going to open it up to questions. Now, Jessica and I lived on Maui for years right before we started Inspire Nation, like a week or two before we really started Inspire Nation. Maybe if we want to stretch that, a month before we started Inspire Nation. And it's not too much to say that everything good, in a sense, not only has it come out of our automatic writing, but it came out of our time on Maui. We were cultivated, we were grown, we were healed, we were given direction. And so to start this here tonight, what I really want to say is we are all Maui, and we are all one. We are all Maui. We are all one. So tonight, what I want to talk with you about is Maui, and why this is hitting home for you so much, why it's hitting home for all of us, why this has been such a big news story beyond the fact that it's the biggest fire tragedy. Geez, how can you balance those things? It's not fair to say that this is such a huge event, but it's even deeper than that. You see, we are all Maui, and I want to talk about what that means and what it means for the future of each and every one of us. We, you, me, we are all Maui, whether we live there, have lived there, will ever live there, will ever visit there in our lifetimes. You see, what we learned when we were on Maui is that there are energetic spots across the earth and different energies in different places. And they said it there on Maui, and it didn't really sink in. But now that I'm watching this tragedy unfold, I can see that it was true. Maui is, and maybe it's one of many, but it is a global heart of the planet. It's a heart of humanity, and it's a heart of the earth, or maybe it is the heart of the earth. What we learned on Maui is that it's also the heartbeat of planet Earth for all of humanity. That's why it hurts so much. And as I'm saying that, and I'm not coming to tears at the moment, I'm going, Michael, should you be crying as you say this? And I've cried a lot for Rue recently, and I've cried, oh my God, so much for Maui. I think I'm not crying yet because of the sacred space that we're all holding, and because I could just imagine walking in with a check for, where are we at now? Oh my God. I can just imagine walking into the check for $2,000 and handing it to the Maui Humane Society. We've rescued a kitty from there. Both Sir Meowsers and Lumi were taken care of there as well. Yes, we have 2 of our 3 kitties here are literal Maui kitties, and our 3rd kitty, we believe, is a reincarnate of our Maui kitty, Koa-kun. And so I'm on fire. My heart is erupting with goodness for your donations. So thank you so, so much. And how does it get any better than this? Going back to Maui, the reason that it hurts so much, and I want to say the reason that it hurts so much by design, and I'm not talking about nefarious design, but the reason that it hurts so much, whether or not you've ever been or will be to Maui, is that there's a heartache or heartbreak on planet Earth right now. And we're going to get into a little bit more of a detail on that. But the heartache or heartbreak has to do with Mother Earth, has to do with Maui, and has to do with this global shift that we've been talking about. And what's happening and happened on Maui is a massive part of this global shift. And I'm hoping that as we come together all as one, is a massive positive. Crazy though that may sound, and I am not making light of anybody's loss, even in the slightest. We've been checking in with every single friend that we can think of on Maui, not making light. But something positive has to come out of this, and can come out of it if we choose to. Now, first, I want to go back. I want to go into the Wayback Machine. I want to go back in time with you, back to why this was such a wake-up call for Jessica and myself, and why it goes along with this 222 theme we've been talking about recently. And that, if you're not familiar, I play a lot with angel numbers, or we can call them sacred numbers, or we can call that synchronicities or signs. And so many of us recently have gotten the number 222. And the number 222 or 2222 means, first off, to be discerning, to look and make big choices. And secondly, it means to, I'm laughing because Hannah Bear just ran behind me. Like, is she going in my arms? Nope, she just ran behind me. It means to make big choices and then to step forward. So going back in time, I want to go back quite a few years ago, a little bit on our history. Years ago, I went to school in Colorado Springs. I went to the Colorado College, and I trained at the Olympic Training Center there. I trained for cycling, I trained for speed skating, and I ran everywhere I could, particularly in the winters. One of my favorite places to run was a place called Waldo Canyon. It was a place that I was introduced to when I was training at the Olympic Training Center and at a speed skating camp. Waldo Canyon went up in flames, and so did so many of the houses near where I rode, just a few years after I moved. So Waldo Canyon burned down, or burned up. I don't know how you call it. I moved to Fort Collins, Colorado, where my favorite place to hike was called Cameron Pass. You would go up to 10 or 11,000 feet. You'd have your snowshoes on or your hiking shoes. You look over from the top, look over and down into Rocky Mountain National Park. And you could actually climb up the hills above tree line where the air was so thin, the trees wouldn't even grow. And you could look down one side of these cornices and ravines and look all the way down into Wyoming. You could look down the other side at beautiful speckled lakes down below, at the Rocky Mountains, for the song Rocky Mountain High off in the distance. A few years after we left, that place caught on fire as well. Now, I moved from there to Boulder, Colorado, where I met Jessica, and we soon moved after that. I think it was a year after? No, more recent than that. After we moved, though, a massive wildfire burned down the whole neighborhood by where we lived and burned down the very trails, a few of which made it into our DVD on barefoot running. They were burned down. And that has nothing to do with the fact that literally across the street, and that's a topic for another day, was the shooting at the King Soopers. We lived right across the street from that. I had fires in Colorado Springs, burned down my favorite trails. Fires in outside of Fort Collins, burned them down. Fires in Boulder burned down some of my favorite trails. We moved to Emerald Isle, North Carolina. the southernmost Outer Banks, had a beautiful year there. Left there, and a freak hurricane. I think the first house we were staying in was in something like 8 or 12 feet deep of water, trashed many homes on the island. Then we moved back to Colorado. We moved to our dream home in Basalt, Colorado, just outside Aspen. Any guess what happened? Yeah, just like Maui, a month after we got there, there had been a smoldering fire. They seemed to have it under control. I can remember we were up in the hills, looking down over town. And for some reason, I thought it'd be fun that evening. It was 4th or 5th of July. Instead of going out to watch the fireworks, we wanted to be at home just in case anything happened. We could take our kiddies with us and get out if we needed to. And I was watching an Adam Sandler movie where there was a firefighters. And as I'm watching the movie, all of a sudden, I saw fire come up over the top of the hill in front of us, race up the top of a small ridge or mountain, and come barreling down the hill toward town, which by the grace of God made it to only 1 mile from our house. And literally, it could have crossed the highway and would have burned down all of the neighborhoods and the shopping centers and the grocery stores. It was that close. And then we healed from that experience, and that was one heck of a shell shock. 2 years later, another fire came to within 4 miles of the house. Smoke socked us in for a month. Jessica got very sick, and we had to move. And of course, it burned down my favorite trails there too. In between this, we had gone to Taos, New Mexico. After we had left Boulder, years before, we had gone to Taos, New Mexico. Left there after, I think, a month and a half, we had, embers and ashes falling from the sky from a forest fire nearby that was threatening to burn the nuclear storage from Los Alamos was threatening to go up in smoke. And of course, in the middle of this all was our travels to Mother Maui. And we know what just happened to her. Now, I don't mention these things because I believe we're personally bad luck when we travel. I don't believe that at all. I believe, like you, we bring good luck and love and light wherever we go. And I know you bring love and light wherever you go, and you want to help people smile. But this goes beyond any individual. This is a wake-up call. That's what it is, particularly Mother Maui. Now, Mother Maui, you may not have heard this term. If you're from Maui, if you've ever been to Maui, you get it. There is a very special sacred energy to Mother Maui. It's an energy of nurturing. It's an energy of love and kindness. And it's an energy of power. What do I mean by this? Well, geologically, if you look at the islands of Hawaii, if you understand tectonic plates and movement of the different plates on the earth, then what you will see is every, I don't know if it's a few million years, volcano comes up here, goes down, one island is formed. The earth moves, volcano comes up here, goes down, another island is formed. You've got Kauai is the oldest, and then you're moving toward newer and newer islands, and then comes up again, and another island formed. And then, so you've got things like Honolulu, well, that's the major city on another island. And then you've got Maui, and then comes up again, and another island is formed. And that's the big island. Maui is the second youngest of the islands. So if you go to Kauai, the oldest of the islands that at least non-native Hawaiians can visit because it's so sacred, if you go to Kauai, it has a very soft, gentle, loving energy. If you go to the big island where Pele is actively doing her thing of bringing new life into existence, it is full on energy. Maui is sort of a balance between the two. She's like grandma laying on her side, or auntie laying on her side, or Mother Maui laying on her side if you look at the side profile of her. So she has that full on Pele energy, and she has a softness to her heart as well. Mother Maui, by design, her mission is one thing above and beyond all else, and that's to crack our hearts open, for our hearts way open. Now, I had my second near-death experience when I was living on Maui. I started to get better and started to heal from that. And then a freak accident on the bicycle, and I cracked all the bones in front of my heart, all the bones above my heart, and all the bones behind my heart. And that was not by accident. Mother Maui's mission is to crack our hope, crack our hearts open, and to help us recognize the divinity inside of each one of us. Yeah, the divinity inside of you, and the interconnected nature of all of us. For we are truly all one. Now, we've been to sacred places on Maui. We've gotten to hike to near, respectfully, sacred burial grounds, places that are such mana, such energy, such earth, such power, such love. And to bring that into our hearts and to bathe in that, to marinate in that. Auntie Pua, our Kapuna elder from Maui, she gave us guardian angels, she said, from Maui, that are here to protect Jessica and ourselves, no matter where we go through life. And I'm sure for Hana Bear as well. Well, I want to tell you, you're protected by Mother Maui as well. You are protected. It is such a sacred place. Now, if you get the chance, when the locals are ready, I highly recommend you go, for it changes you. You become awash more in love. If you allow it, you become heart wide open. If you allow it, Maui will embrace you with open arms when she is ready. She is not ready yet. This is a time for everyone to get to heal. But for ourselves, everything good came out of Maui. In fact, I teach a course on automatic writing next Thursday. Not this Thursday, it'll be next Thursday. This Thursday, we're doing a little bit of traveling and learning how to channel and connect. And this is a co-created experience here this evening. This was a channel talk that I did this morning. And now I'm riffing with you with that channel talk and with listening to the angels and guides. My automatic writing practice came out of Maui. It's a course that helps you connect to spirit, hear from spirit, lead a spirit-driven life, get guidance from spirit. Spirit brought it to me on Maui. All good things, our connection, our plugged in nature, our smiles, our stillness, our joy, Jessica's kombucha making abilities. I'll explain that one to you another time. It all came directly from our time in Maui. Maui is in our bones and in our hearts, and she is in your heart as well. So this morning, I'm channeling this talk, and I'm hearing Auntie Pua, who transitioned. She's still on Maui. Her heart is still on Maui. She transitioned to the other side a handful of years ago. But she was talking to me very loud and clearly this morning, saying how that we have to rebuild the Aina, how we have to, which means the land, how we have to take care of the land, and how this is a special sacred message for all of us. But it's a most sacred, special message for our kids, that we get to take better care of the land for our kids. We get to take better care of the earth for our kids. We get to take better care of each other, and we get to stop putting profits aside. You see, even if you've never been there, she's in your heart, guiding you forward, opening you up. That's why you've been touched so much by this. You're going, why am I so drawn to this story or these stories? And I've never seen so many stories on one article, on one thing happen so fast on the media around the world. It's because it's touching our hearts. It is touching our hearts so completely and so totally. That's also why I'm doing a fundraiser. This is our first fundraiser here, is to open our hearts back up to Maui as well. Now, when I lived on Maui, two very special things happened to me, and one to Jessica as well. And by special, I don't mean easy. We had the near-death experience. That was the process. It was having the near-death experience and learning how to heal from it that I was first introduced to automatic writing. I can remember being on crutches, going through bamboo forest, going to the waterfalls, and allowing the island to heal me. If you dream of Mother Maui, if you look at pictures of the nature in Maui, if you put yourself there, heck, if you're really brave, if you go look up Banyan Tree, Lahaina, the pictures before she got burnt. Although I'm hearing from the locals that there are shoots and she may well survive. I'm going to say she has survived. In fact, as part of our meditation tonight, we will go to the banyan tree. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? The banyan tree is a very heavy wood. It's a wood from India. Well, the tree is from India, or the seed was anyway. It is a wood that's so strong that you could walk out on tree branches. They wouldn't even bend under your weight. You could walk out on them like this. You could sit on them. You could hang like a monkey upside down on them. They wouldn't sit. They wouldn't bounce. This tree was almost 2 acres across. And there was and is such a sacred energy with that tree. I want you to look at photos of that tree. I want you to look at photos of Maui. I want you to put Maui on your heart, or put your heart in Maui. To feel your heart melt, to feel your heart shift. For she will open your heart. Now, I mentioned that she cracked my heart wide open. What I didn't mention is, okay, I was driving Jessica into the ground there. Out of fear, we were making a beautiful program. You can find it online, or at least the website, mindfulrunning.org. Such an irony. We were teaching people how to run mindfully. Actually, we'd made a beautiful, beautiful DVD filmed almost entirely on Maui with a little bit in Boulder. We filmed a beautiful DVD on barefoot running in Maui. And then we wanted to make a program combining meditation and mindfulness. And whew, I pushed her way too hard. You know, that really hurt our relationship. I was pushing out of a place of fear, out of a place of lack. And Mother Maui doesn't like that. And she will force you to shift. She will force you to pivot. And Jessica ended up getting very sick. I was broken. So you could say, well, why didn't something happen to you? Well, I was broken. But it turns out that there was an inch thick black mold in the rafters in our house. We only found it a couple weeks before we left. She was very sick. I had been injured. We were wiped out financially. We got to leave Maui. That was actually perhaps the best thing that ever happened to us. It got us kicked out of our dream home. It got us kicked off of the island. But that probably actually saved our lives. And it got us back to New Jersey, where we dove into automatic writing, dove into spirit, and began to heal. So the question is, why am I telling you this here this evening? A few reasons. First off, Maui is the heart of the earth, or the heartbeat of the earth, and she is our greatest teacher. And in many ways, she just sacrificed herself to teach us the most important lesson. And even saying this, even writing it down, it sounds completely wrong, for she loves her kids. She loves each and every one of us. She loves us so dearly and wouldn't want to see any harm come to any of us. But we get to look at the spiritual significance of everything, spiritual significance of why things happen, when they happen, where they happen. And I know there are no coincidences. There are no coincidences at all. Maui lost her children, and she is mourning the loss of her children. She did it in a sense to heal all of us, to help wake us up. Now, I'm not a climatologist. I don't play one on TV. I do have one of my 3 degrees is in science, specifically in computers, among other things. And I am a complete novice amateur climate geek. Geek. But I don't pretend to know how all of this fits together. But I promise you, I will have experts on, experts that bring us all together, not drive us apart. For the time has come. Here's the crazy thing. We know the climate is changing. We know the world is changing. We know that these tragedies are one after the next, after next, after next, after next. They're accelerating. But it's all being politicized because it's all about fossil fuels, which is craziness. But the facts are the facts are the facts. First off, what are the facts? We are all one. There are no sides. There's no red versus blue. There's no me versus you. We are all one. As people on Maui found out firsthand, when the fires come whipping around the corner, it doesn't matter if you're red, you're white, you're blue, you're green, you're whatever. It doesn't matter what you believe in, whether you're a believer, whether you're a denier. Silly, stupid labels. Forgive me. We are all one in this together. That is a huge message from Mother Maui. There are no sides on this little blue dot called Earth, this tiny little spacecraft, just as there are no sides on the island. There's no sides where you can escape. There's no sides where you can say, this is my home, this is your home. This Earth, this planet, this Maui is all we've got. It doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter how. We are all in this together. And that is a massive wake-up call. Actually, it's three things in total. First, for ourselves, and again, I will have guests on this, and I will not shy away. The time for that has passed. The time for us all to 222 up is here. And that's actually message number one. The days of being quiet, the days of shying away, the days of being polite. I'm being polite. And by that, I mean passive. They're gone in flames, man. Those days are gone. For ourselves, I've steered away from such serious topics, simply focusing on the love and light. And as you've heard me say for a few months now, I'm pivoting, and we all get to pivot together to more hard-nosed topics, but from a place of love and light, heart cracked wide open, leaning forward out of love, never fighting against anyone or anything. And I've never found a place that's more loving, that's more light, that's more sacred, and that's more beautiful in such ways than Maui. Going back to the Banyan Tree, when the fires first happened, it wasn't that I wasn't focused on the people, but what I first wanted to know, and I know this sounds crazy, but if you've lived on Maui, it doesn't. I wanted to know, is the tree all right? Is the tree all right? Is the tree all right? It wasn't that I wasn't focused on anybody or anyone or any of the animals or anything of the sort. And yes, there's a donate button there. Please help support the animals on Maui. They bring so much love and light. The tree represents hope, love, joy, the heartbeat of Maui, and therefore the heartbeat of the earth. That's why I'm so ecstatic and hopeful that she is still alive. The tree means the world to us. I remember Jessica and myself, we would go to Lahaina at least once a week to the farmers markets, to the art fairs that were there. I was sunrise and sunset photographer still there. And I was thinking of even setting up a booth or a stand there. And then I would run in Lahaina. We lived on the other side of the island, Kula, where the fires got to our neighbors' homes all around us. And it looks like our neighborhood is still standing as best as we can tell. And our favorite farms, thank you, universe, are still standing as well. I would go running in Lahaina, but I would want to spend time with that tree. Why? That tree represented hope, represented joy. It still does. And it represents the power and strength and hope of Maui. Now, there is such a strength on that island, it's such a strength and power. It's actually so overpowering They say she'll either draw you in or kick you out. In our case, she did both. And it's the same power as other portal cities, whether you're looking at Sedona, whether you're looking at Taos, whether you're looking at Mount Shasta. And that's only in the US. There are portal cities all across this great earth. A portal city will recharge you. And if you get too much of a charge, it will punt you out. And so for Jessica and myself, Maui embraced us with open arms until it was time to launch us on our world, out into the world. And when we overstayed our welcome, we got very sick. For she fills us up and sends us out into the world. Or as Auntie Pua would say, to become ambassadors of Aloha. That's what I want you to become here and now. And you don't actually have to visit Maui in order to become an ambassador of Aloha. What's Aloha? It's the breath of Mother Earth. That's the ha. It's the breath that gives you life, the breath that feeds your soul, the breath that feeds all of our souls. And Aloha is the oneness, the unity, and the love, the energy that binds and brings us all together. That's what Aloha is. And that's what you can bring to the world just by being you. Shields dropped, heart open, embracing everybody, except for the narcissist. Let's head the other direction there. Send them love, go the other way, but out of a place of love. This brings us back to our 3 lessons. 1, we cannot be quiet anymore. We get to take action. This is not a time for passivity. It's not a time to simply watch what's going on in the world without stepping forward. Whatever that means for you. It's different for me than it is for you, than it is for the other person, than it is for Sir Meowsers. It's whatever resonates and pulls at your, hello, Maui, heart. Again, as I often say, it's not about fighting against anyone or anything. You could say, though, it's fighting for what we do want by speaking the truth, by linking up, by going hand in hand, by going arm in arm, or by going heart in heart. Actually, Hannah Bear earlier tonight was going like this a lot. Not, or she goes, ah. She was going like this, tapping on her heart. That's the energy of Mother Maui, too. It's called heart coherence. When we all come together with one heartbeat, and we're going to be practicing this in meditation, playing with this in meditation in just a little bit. When we come together and beat all as one, we become unstoppable. When we link together as one, we rise above any challenge, we rise above any tragedy. And we help humanity and Mother Earth to spiral and to ascend to a new level. See this logo here? You know what this logo is? It looks like Rue at this point. My best buddy now on the other side. This logo right here is a phoenix rising from the ashes. That ain't by accident. That's because of the number of fires that we've been close to or almost gone through or have gone through. But that's the fires that we are all going through right now. That's why we have a Phoenix logo, because we can literally all rise from the ashes. First message, we get to step forward. This is a rally cry from the heart of the heart that we get to step forward in whatever we believe in. Kids get this. Hannah Bear gets this. Deep in our hearts and our souls, we get this. You know what's really cool? If you Google in the news and you type in Montana and kids today, what do you get? Well, the kids sued the state of Montana for infringing on their right to have clean air, for infringing on their right to have a climate that's not spiraling out of control. They sued Montana for their pro-fossil fuel, not burn, baby, burn, pump, baby, pump. I can't remember the expression, but they sued the state of Montana, the kids, for their future, for their home, for Mother Earth, for the Aina. They won. Of course, they'll be appealed and they'll be appealed, but the kids won. That's stepping forward. The days of staying silent, of staying in our silos, of staying in our caves, of staying in our little homes have ended. We must step forward bravely, strongly, out of love to change this little blue dot before it's too late. Second, we must address the climate. It doesn't matter if you're red, if you're blue, if you're polka dot. It doesn't matter what you believe or don't believe in. The climate is changing, has changed, and appears to be spiraling out of control. And it is a massive wake-up call for action. It's a massive wake-up call. And you can say, but humanity didn't start it, or humanity this, or humanity that. And there's so much misinformation. Who knows? But we do know that raising the temperature by burning anything can't be good for this place. Hello, you burn fossil fuels, internal combustion engine. How would a fire not raise the temperature of a place? It's a closed system. We get to do something about it. And thank you. I see the donations going up right now for the animals who have lost their, geez Louise, who have lost their mamas, who have lost their papas, who have lost their homes, who have been burned or a smoke inhaled. Your donations, thank you, thank you, thank you. How does it get any over $3,000 raised? Thank you so much. And having 2 Maui kitties here, I cannot thank you enough. Now, Jessica and I now live in Florida by St. Augustine, and we'll call that Maui Light. It has the same energy as Maui. In fact, when we go on the trails, it feels like we're in Maui. However, what do we know about Florida? Well, as a climate geek, I know that the waters of the Pacific and the Atlantic, especially the Atlantic Basin here, have never been this hot, up to 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than they've ever been. I'm sure you've heard of the 100+ degree water around Miami. That ain't no joke. And what's happening to the coral? That ain't no joke either. In fact, I won't even mention that to Jessica, because as somebody who's lived in the Caribbean for several years, she was in Peace Corps in the Caribbean, it would break her heart. That water is warm. And as people in the Pacific know right now, the storms coming are huge. And we know there will be storms coming our way. Cancel, clear, release. Now, we are very positive folk. We have seen so many storms turn and skip Mother Maui, turn and skip the Hawaiian Islands. And that's because of this protective bubble from the elders. But guess what? The bubble is, in a sense, cracking to wake us up at a higher level. And certainly stuff is coming our way. Whether it comes to us, whether it comes to the Caribbean, whether it comes to Texas, people are people. Whether it comes to Cuba, people are people, or Honduras, or wherever. People are people are people. We are all one. So there are fires right now. There are floods. There's tornadoes. There's hail. There's smoke. All of this caused by climate spiraling out of control. Now, whether we feel it started with human activity or simply amplified, doesn't matter. It's still a wake-up call for massive action. Yes, we must get off of fossil fuels. Yes, we must take alternative solutions. Yes, we must do whatever we can to stop the burning down of the rainforest for agriculture, for cattle, for whatever. Yes, we get to take action. And yes, we get to call on our leaders to take action yesterday. However, I must admit, I've lost a little faith in our leadership, sort of like the alarms not ringing in Maui, or Lahaina for that matter. Many of us have lost faith in change from above. That's not a bad thing. That's actually by design. Have you noticed that you can connect to spirit? If you go quiet, you can connect to spirit easier these days. Have you noticed how many people can channel or hear from spirit, or have a clear audience, clear sentience, clairvoyance, or other clair opened up? Have you noticed that we no longer need to go to priests, to rabbis, to soothsayers, to wizard, to whomever, to hear from the other side, that if we go quiet, we can hear? Why? Because it's a time of great change, and it's a time of great power, and it's a time of us remembering that we are not just living here in this holographic universe. We are, just as it says, as above, so below. We are on the other side of the veil, and at all times And if we listen carefully, it's easier and easier to hear from the other side of the veil. So the veil is getting thinner, and our power, our mana, our strength, your strength, you can feel it if you go, I am strong. Or as Hannah Bear loves to do, or da, da, da. Da, 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 da. You can feel that strength. You can feel that power in you. Your power is welling up. My power is welling up, not to duke against anyone, unless it's a bear hug. I had on the shirt before I went on air here, a shirt with a giant bear on it, and the bear is open arms, and it just says hug. I love you guys. It's a time for massive hugs and a time for massive action out of love. And we're being given the strength so we can take back this world and take back the power, not fighting against anyone or anything, but so that we can link arms hand in hand and step forward and go, we ain't going to take this anymore. I think that's the title here. I ain't going to take this. I can't take it anymore. I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to rise up. You're going to rise up. We're going to all rise up to make a difference, starting from the ground up. Now, we've been taught to believe it's an impossible task. We can't possibly do it. It's overwhelming. In fact, you're so such overwhelming evidence to make it impossible to step forward, to have you so overwhelmed you won't even try. It's in the media. It's in politics. It's all by design. Well, how do we start if it feels overwhelming? How do we start anything if it feels overwhelming? You got two choices. One, step forward. That's the angel number 456. If you see 456, it means start taking baby steps forward. Take a baby step after baby step after baby step. And guess what? You go to the top of the mountain. But it's not just 456. It means yabber, yabber, yabber. Start talking. We've been taught to be quiet. We've been taught, heck, I'm speaking to you right now. And do you know a part of what I'm saying on the inside is if I talk about climate change, the reds or the blues or the greens or the whites or the somethings are going to get upset with me that I've suddenly become political. I don't have a political bone in my body. We are love. We are one. You are me. I am you. We are all Maui. No political. I just want us all to make it through this time. And this is the sixth mass extinction. I want the animals to make it through. I want Mother Earth, her fever to go down. There is no fever. Are you kidding me? We can call it what we want. You can see the storms. You can see the fire. Mother Earth has a fever. But we can save the animals too. That's why I have this with the Maui Humane Society. We can save the animals too during what's called this great mass extinction before it's too late. By being brave, by talking to each other, by talking about this from a place of love. I don't want you to fight against anyone or anything. I want you to come together in love and say, how do we do this? How do we make these changes? What do we do? Guess what? I don't have all the answers. Guess what? Probably no one has all the answers. Guess what? The technology is already there to do it. And I'm not talking about the hidden energy, of which there is, 0-point energy, things of this sort. The technology already exists to fix this place if we choose to take care of each other. That's actually Thursday's show. We have on Thursday a crazy, amazing show from a gentleman who has taught Stephen Schwartz. He has taught remote viewing to 10,000 or more people. He interviewed first 4,000 remote viewers on what life was going to be like in 2040 and 2050. Then he interviewed 6,000 remote viewers on what life was going to be like in 2050 and 2060. I won't give away the whole show on Thursday. Oh my God, you'll have to see it. It's powerful. What he has to share is powerful. But the overarching message is that if we are focused and if we are living in a country, if we are living in a state, if we are living in a place that puts human welfare and the welfare of the planet, the welfare of others first, we thrive. If we live in a place, if we live in a state, if we live in a country where profits are put first, people are sick. The earth is sick. It's a sickly, sickly environment. So we get to talk about this. We get to come together. We get to talk about it, and we get to talk to 10 people about it and have them talk to 10 people about it, have them talk to 10 people about it, how we can change this place out of love, how we can come together to make choices. I don't even have this as part of what I want to talk about tonight. But if we can all start making choices, we can call it what would love do? Beautiful way. You have choice A, you have choice B. What would love do? If you simply also ask, I have choice A, choice B, which choice is going to help the most number of people? Which choice is going to bring us together? Which choice is going to help heal the planet? Which choice is going to help heal my kids? If we make choices not based on the profits of the few, but based on the welfare of the many. Oh my God, this guy's becoming a communist or a socialist. Guess what, guys? It's a blue dot. Carl Sagan put it that way when he saw from Voyager 1, saw a picture from Voyager 1 of us from outside, really outside the edge of the solar system. Earth is a tiny blue dot. We are all one. We better take care of each other as if we're all one. We were brainwashed into believing, well, if you don't work hard, you don't deserve to have food. You don't deserve to have that. You don't deserve to have health, safety, and security. We are all one. And this is the world's greatest wake-up call, that we get to come together all as one. How? By striking up a conversation, by choosing compassion, by choosing kindness, by choosing the outcome that has the greatest welfare, a word that's been stolen like so many others. Welfare has been stolen, woke has been stolen, freedom's been stolen. What other words have been stolen? To choose the greatest outcome for the greatest number of people, for the greatest number of animals, for planet Earth. Now, Maui's fire, it strikes at the core and at the heart of humanity, and it demands we take action out of love, which means we get to have the discussions. I can see the discussions going on in the chat right now. The earth is burning from the tip of South America to the top of the North Pole, from the southern hemisphere to the northern tip of Greenland, to the Iceland, to Siberia, and everywhere in between, and the world is on fire. But we have the power to do something about it. And that's part of the interesting thing. And it's kind of part of the message. Wow, can I say that? Fossil fuels would say drill, baby, drill, or that it's not caused by us, or that the problem is too big and therefore we can't do anything about it. But do you remember a little place called India? Do you? Do you remember that she was once under British rule? Do you remember that when Gandhi came to power, he took back India's rule for India without any bloodshed or loss of life? He took back India because it was the right thing. The British are like, well, that's the right thing to do because it came from a place of love. He didn't come from a place of they're subjugating our Indian citizens. We need to fight against British rule. No. It was about let's wake up. Let's come together as one. Let's be united by the heart and come together to rise above this. That's the third point here today. First, we get to step forward. Second, we get to face the big issues, particularly what's taking place with the climate. And third, we are all one. I want to give you the biggest bear hug in the world. We are all one. The time for fighting, the time for warring, my God, those days are done. You're talking about dinosaur solutions, actually pre-dinosaurs. The time of separation of me versus you, profits over people, derision and division, basically the days of politics as we know it. Those days are numbered. Those days of immaturity have passed. They're done, they're gone, and they're dead. And right now, what you see in the news are the last gasp efforts of the old guard. The days of infighting are over, for we just had our global heart attack. I want to let that sink in for a minute. We just had a global heart attack. What happens when someone has a heart attack? It's a wake-up call, isn't it? Mighty powerful one that we get to change our ways. Now, I've worked with people who are addicted. I've studied even more people who are addicted. And typically, an addict will only change when one of two things takes place. One, they hit a car with a tree or they have a heart attack and nearly die. Second, their spouse threatens and typically actually leaves them. In a sense, we've just had the global heart attack or wrapped our car around the tree. It's a wake-up call to end this addiction, not just to fossil fuels. And there isn't almost a Western person alive who isn't using them on some level. Even if you're driving an electric car, when you get to ask, well, where is that powered from? But it's from your plastic bags and your plastic this and your plastic that and your plastic keyboards. But we get to end our addiction to fossil fuels, or actually, where's the electricity in your home come from? But we get to cure an even bigger addiction, a much bigger addiction. An addiction to separateness. That's what Mother Maui's wake-up call is for us to do. Now, I have a dear friend of mine, and I hope to have her back on the show in just a few weeks. It's Dr. Carolyn Dean. And yeah, I'm biased. She has the most amazing magnesium supplement because it's like the mineral that we're all missing. But this isn't about that. I was talking to her or emailing her more specifically yesterday. And we were discussing the coconut wireless, how everybody is connected within Maui. So we're checking on different friends. She's asking us, we're asking her, and she's able to check and find out if people are safe. She says that on Maui right now, you go into a store and you hug and you embrace and you cry together and you hold each other. Everyone hugging, crying, holding each other. It's a recognition of the tragedy, of the loss, but of the coming together all as one. Kind of wish I still had my hug shirt on here tonight. It's what we all need to do right now. We need to hug, we need to hold, we need to heal, and we need to embrace the new earth. Hold on here, everybody. Hold on. Is this my shirt? Yeah. Let's do this. Hug. This. Ah. All right, a little bit wrinkled there. This is what we get to do right now. We get to embrace a new humanity, to embrace a new time, to embrace each one of us. We can call this the age of Aquarius. I would simply call this stepping into the age of the heart, stepping into the age of Mother Maui. And yes, it was predicted by, it's interesting, Dr. Michael Lennox recently, because we were talking about Venus going into retrograde, which means going back into the heart. It's a time for healing the heart and coming together all as one, no matter what. And that's the biggest picture message. Well, it's the third out of three, but it's a very badass message. And I'm going to use that word badass for a reason. It's the most badass of messages. Why? Because while I'm saying, let's do some bear hugs, I'm also saying the time for Archangel Michael with his sword, the time of Pele, burning things down to create a new earth, the time of fierceness of Mother Maui has come as well. Not a righteous indignation, not an anger, but a fierceness that says, we will stand together as one, we will come together as one, and we will change this planet for the good of all, starting right now. That's the fierceness that is necessary. This is the fierceness of the warrior. This is the fierceness of the haka from New Zealand. And I am doing the opposite of making fun of the haka from New Zealand. That fierceness is needed right now. It's the fierceness of a balanced humanity. It is the fierceness of a Kuan Yin, of the warrior goddess, saying we all must come together as one before it's too late. Now, as we wrap things up and go into questions in just a few minutes here, I'm a love and light kind of guy. I don't believe in using fear. At the same time, we get to step up, we get to make a choice, and we get to step forward for this Maui, Lahaina, Kula, Kihei, the islands, the Aina. This is, even though there have been bigger tragedies elsewhere, this is perhaps the greatest wake-up call to date on the planet. And I can hear people in the war zone saying, no, it's not. And I agree with you. But for those who are not in the war zone, this is the one that hits home in the heart the most. How many more do we need? This is the wake-up call to help us all step forward, to help us all come together, to help us rise above the differences no matter what. Now, the press will have you believe it's us versus them. It's a fight for democracy, a fight for the country, and a fight for the Constitution, a fight for this or a fight for that. But the only real fight is the fight for all of humanity, the fight for brotherly love, and the fight for Mother Earth, a fight to let go of our differences, to come together as one, to a fight to let go of the way that we've been swayed or separated for the profits and the power of the few, and a fight to take back our humanness. What's our humanness? It's what makes us so special. When we come together as one, we recognize the brotherness and sisterness of our fellow man and woman. We recognize that we can all come together as one and do incredible things for ourselves, for each other, and for Mother Earth. For we are all one. We are all one. We are all one. That's the message I want to leave you with, to step forward, to talk about the climate, to talk about the earth, to talk about what we can do, and to educate ourselves and educate ourselves fast, and then to come together as one, to stop the fighting, the he said, the she said, the red, the you're red, you're a blue, you're a this, you're a that. This is what you've been told. This is what I've been told, to stop the demonizing, the attacks, and to listen deeply. Listen deeply, come together in hugs, listen deeply from the heart. There isn't somebody on Maui going to hug somebody else and go, wait a second, please share your political beliefs with me. Are you kidding me? I think you hug if you have a pulse. That's what we get to do. We get to go into each store, each sidewalk, each train, or wherever we are, to drop our shields and hug, recognizing we are all one and we are all in this together, and we are all Mother Maui. And we are all ambassadors. You are an ambassador of Aloha, for our highest good, for the highest good of all, or something even better. We are needed now. You are needed now. And you can do this in the name and memory of Maui, of Lahaina, of Kula, of Kihei, and for all of humanity. Aloha. Yes, the breath and chant of life. And we can do this together. Now, I want to open it up to questions. Oh my God, $3.6 thousand raised for Maui, for the animals, for, I want to open up to questions, but if you haven't made a donation, none of this goes to us. All of this goes to the Maui Humane Society. There's so many animals that are homeless right now. There's so many animals that have been injured or have had smoke inhalation and need care. There's so many animals that have lost. It's a tragedy. They've literally lost their parents, and they may have survived, but their parents are gone. So this is huge if you can help out. I would so greatly appreciate it. All right, let's open it up to questions now. And then we're going to go into a meditation. Mick Fegan, and this is a brilliant question. Why are you not telling people to come to Maui? Mick, the reason that I'm doing that is from the best sources that I've read and can understand at this point, even though we want people to go to Maui because 75% of Maui's income is tourist related. Right now, they don't have the resources to be able to handle the influx of people. The resources, they still don't have all cell lines connected, all power backup, clean water. And so if more people come until they have the resources, it's actually draining away. This is my belief, draining away a lot of the resources until things are stabilized. Then I want you to go. I want you to support. I want you to help. I want you to spend your money there. Of course, we can do that now by supporting them with our dollars, with our love. with so much more, and to visualize Maui not just being healed, but better than ever. And I'm obviously not talking about a land grab here. I'm talking about people being able to rebuild, being able to heal. Better than ever is still such a strange term because loss is loss is loss. But Mick, that is why I'm saying temporarily. Breathe, pause, do what you can do from here. Ooh, Mary, brilliant question. How do we balance what happened in Maui and other places with our holographic world? So Maui, oh, Mary, I called you Maui. I love it. Maui, we live, so this is a brilliant question on so many levels, Mary. We live in a holographic world, which means we are an energetic representation of our true selves. We are an energetic, inchangeable, ephemeral reflection of who and what we truly are. But it doesn't mean we don't matter. So, and that this world doesn't matter. I want to have a lot of guests on in the future about a simulation because I have very, very strong understanding, we'll call it, of what I believe to be what this construct we call Earth or call this Earth School is, and what I've heard it is. And I want to bring experts, I'll call it experts in to talk about this. But one of the challenges with the word simulation, and even with it being a holographic universe, is that we believe it's not real. And we've been taught, well, if I'm just energy having an energetic experience in human form or disguise, and I go back home afterwards, then this didn't matter. Wait, stop. It matters and matters dearly. Everyone who is here having a human experience, having a rooster experience, having an animal on Maui experience, having any experience, it matters and matters profoundly for the evolution of consciousness, for the evolution of each and every one of us. So it doesn't mean we martyr ourselves, Mary. It doesn't mean that we slay ourselves in the name of whomever or whatever. That doesn't do good for the raising of the evolution of consciousness. But we step forward with everything we can, Mary, from the heart, because we live in a living, breathing, vibrational universe that sings a song. As you make a difference here on Earth, Mary, and for everyone, our song raises, our frequency raises, the tonality changes, we spiral upwards. And that all is happening here and now for us on a physical plane. And it matters and matters profoundly. Even though individually we can do no harm, we go back home, we're not judged, we learn from it, we can choose to come back here. This is our home too. And what we do with this home matters and matters dearly and profoundly. Safina. Oh, this is a brilliant question to which I'm not going to have a perfect answer. Safina, do we know what the locals wish for Lahaina's next chapter? I don't believe anyone has had limiting belief. I know that some people know if they want to stay. Some people know if they don't want to stay. I'm going to guess the majority want to stay. I think it's too early to know. There's so much healing that gets to take place. There's so much coalescing and come together that gets to take place. And then the re-envisioning process can begin. Just like the term aloha itself, there needs to be a breath first before people will know what they desire. They need to be able to breathe. But to be able to breathe, and this goes right back to the question of visiting Maui, and I can remember reading an article of people who were very distraught that tourists were swimming in the waters where they'd lost their fathers, their mothers, their aunts, their uncles, their nephews, their nieces, their brothers, their sisters, and their children in the last few days. And they're going, why are people swimming in these sacred waters right now? There gets to be time to grieve. There gets to be time to heal. And I don't pretend to speak for anybody on Lahaina. I can't even pretend to imagine what people on anywhere on Maui are feeling. I know what my heart is feeling and my connection is saying. But my guess is they want time to grieve, to heal, to process. And then to be able to dream again and to dream anew. First, they must heal and they must hug. Judy, people are waking up. Yes, they are, Judy, and in droves. What can we do, though? You can imagine plants and trees growing. You can imagine homes being rebuilt. This is 5D work. Judy, you're right. 3D work is just what's done on a physical plane. 5D work is going above the physical plane and imagining a new future and building it in your mind's eye. But you can also talk about it with others and have others come together and build it in their mind's eye as well, because there is a power in the group. The question becomes, Judy, how big of a dream can you hold? How big of a picture can you make? So, for instance, what I learned on Mother Maui, and Jessica and I lived on the side of Haleakala. I think we would call it one of the top, maybe the second or third largest mountain, perhaps, in the world, the largest being on the Big Island, where it goes down from something like 30,000 feet deep to maybe 12,000 feet high. It's the scale of the mountains there, when you take them from tip to tail, is just almost unfathomable. But when I looked up on Haleakala, you could see where the trees have been cut and are gone. And it's a very dry microclimate around it. And you can see where there are trees existing. And the trees seem to pull the moisture out of the clouds and pull the clouds down to them. Maui was much lusher in the past, was much greener in the past, didn't have these fire-prone invasive grasses in the past. But her trees were all cut down. Fortunately, it's not the indigenous trees, but trees like the eucalyptus have grown back in their place that are at least drawing moisture down. So when I envision a future Maui, I see trees everywhere that was meant to have trees before. I don't see these grasses. I remember when I used to run in Lahaina all the time, I would say that the grasses were so dry that I felt like a fire could start if I just breathe on them too much. It was so tinderbox dry, and it caught up with Lahaina. We need to plant trees and plant mega amounts of trees and see the trees coming back and see the non-invasive species coming back and see a new homeostasis, a balance coming back into place. And if we can envision that, we can create it out of our visions. So that, Judy, is the highest level that we get to play at. Dharma, I hear people are already contacting homeowners in Maui to buy their land. How can we not feel judgment for the insensitive people? Send love, Dharma. First off, if we focus on that, what do? We create more of that reality. Going to 5D work. Imagine a bubble being put over Maui. This is not Pollyannish. This is playing at a highest level. Imagine a bubble being put over Maui, allowing people have time to breathe. And imagine all the homeowners are so supported and able to make the most beautiful, best decisions without pressure from people wanting to buy their precious land. And just as you're doing, Dharma, we get to do this from a place of love, discussing how we can protect the homes, protect the land, protect the Aina for the current people there, for future generations. And we can envision that taking place. Again, we talk. Again, we step forward. Again, we link arms hand in hand. There have been so many people on social media saying, please do not step forward to buy land at this time. Do not step forward and offer or ask anything of those who own their land right now. Give them time. We can talk about this, Dharma, and bring that into existence. Jason, a couple key questions. First off, is this what a reset looks like? Yeah, until we get it at the highest level. And then it doesn't have to look this way at all, Jason. This is part, a big from the heart. This is the heart attack. This is the global reset kicking into higher level action or higher level degree. Do you think this was an attack? Honestly, Jason, I don't know. And at the same time, the winds were there. We lived in Colorado when there were what was called crazy, the storm that night of the fire, there were what they called crazy voodoo winds. But it wasn't just a one-time wind scenario. Those winds were there often. Jason, we were on Maui when there were crazy voodoo winds. Crazy, 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 crazy winds. Now, I don't pretend to know if it was an attack or not. I will say this. I really do wish the power companies had shut off their power, because if it was caused by lines sparking and dancing, they wouldn't have been sparking and dancing. It's why we get to come forward as a group, all as one. Yes, asking the big picture questions, Jason, and I'm not making light of what you're saying, but there's also a time of massive healing to take place here. And yes, taking back our power arm in arm, but taking back our power arm in arm means looking at the big picture. There was a report that came out in 2014 on the fire danger to Lahaina. It was out there, and that was from a natural one. And yet action wasn't taken because it's got to come now from the ground up. Jason, we can take back our power. And I'm not saying there isn't nefarious stuff taking place around the world. I've had on Stephen Greer. I've had on Greg Braden. I will continue to bring such guests on. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. And if we take back our power, which we can do, it just doesn't matter. It can't do anything if we're in charge. Not as a revolution, but if we come together, out of hug, out of love, arm and arm, game over, man. That's the global reset. Mark, how about the fight to free animals from enslavement, torture, and murder? Well, Mark, we each get to play a role in this. And I don't judge anyone or anything. I am vegan myself. Doesn't mean anything. I mean, it means that I care. But even if you're not, it doesn't mean that you don't care. But we definitely get to make the highest level choices we can for ourselves, Mark, without judgment for anyone. But like you're doing, Mark, we get to talk about this, high level discussions. We get to, though, listen, not to the other side, Mark. There is no other side. There is no other side of Earth. The Earth is just Earth. It's a big ball. We get to talk with each other. We get to listen to each other. And then, yes, we get to step forward. And yes, that is why I'm having people donate here tonight, if you're feeling called to do so, to Maui, or to Maui Humane Society, to help save the animals, not kill the animals, to help save the animals, to help heal the animals. So critically important. How we treat our animals. Okay, let's change that term. How we treat the animals, not our animals. How we treat other sentient beings who are in animal form is in many ways how we treat ourselves. And Mark, as I learned from the great master Rue, and that's who and what he was and is in rooster form, the more love we bring, particularly for the animals, the more it changes and melts our hearts. If you treat an animal with sacredness, with specialness, and from the heart, you start to treat everyone around you differently, and they start to treat you differently just because of the resonant frequency you're at. But again, from a place of non-judgment. This doesn't mean that you condone, or this doesn't mean that if you see something terrible, you don't say, how can we do better? How can we step forward out of love? How can we find a higher level solution? I'm not saying that you watch something and you don't step forward, but how can we do this for the animals, for the earth, and for ourselves out of love? Mary Parker, I experienced a number of spiritual moments when on the island of Maui. Absolutely. What is the meaning and the energy of the rainbow eucalyptus trees on the road to Hana? Ooh, I survived that day trip. So beautiful. I can't speak, Mary, specifically to, well, I can speak to the energy of the eucalyptus. They are, oh, and in our barefoot running video, we are climbing and dancing and singing and just about swinging with the eucalyptus. They're special. They're heavenly. They're amazing. And they are healers of the earth and they grow so quickly. And there is this sacred, enchanted dance in a eucalyptus forest. The road to Hana is incredibly sacred. It was an ancient Hawaiian highway, and Jessica and I had a chance to explore and find parts of that ancient highway. In fact, I was able to find, by going barefoot and feeling my way through, I was able to find a village that I don't even understand had all this broken pottery from hundreds and hundreds of years ago that nobody had discovered yet. How do you not discover something on Mother Maui? I left it alone. I said prayers. I said thanks. I didn't take anything out of there at all. But I could envision it. I could envision the fishing village. I could envision them, envision the ceremonies and the love and the lives that took place in that spot. That road to Hana has that sacred energy, the energy of the elders, the energy of the kapunas, of the kahunas, of the healers. And so when you drive to Maui or drive to Hana, which is the road on the backside, and it's no coincidence, we didn't name Hana Bear specifically after Hana or the road to Hana, but it's not necessarily a coincidence, and it does have the same spelling. When you drive the road to Hana, this twisty, crazy, twisty, turny road, I don't even remember how many switchbacks. There's like, I don't know, there's like 54 switchbacks in 10 miles, and it keeps going and going and going well beyond that 10 miles. Um, um, it's a trip back energetically in time to the wisdom of the earth, to the wisdom of the elders, to the wisdom of the island, to the wisdom of Mother Maui herself. And driving to Hana and then spending time there, you are bathed in that energy and in that frequency. And if you are even remotely open to it, you're never the same again. That is the sweetness of Maui. And it is still, you are able to experience and link up to it simply in your mind's eye as well. Dina, is there a hell? I'll give you my best interpretation, Dina, of that. And this is only one person's interpretation. Separation. That's hell. Believing we are alone, believing we are separate, believing we are less than, believing that we are not one, believing that there is no global family, unity consciousness that we belong to. And it is not a punishment. It is not a place that we go to. It is something that we create out of that fear, out of that loneliness, out of that separation until we choose otherwise. And then it's gone. We're not stuck in hell. We're not going to hell. We didn't do anything that's going to take us to hell. Hell can be hell on earth right now. If you watch the media, the press, the stories, the politics, and all of the derision and division, it feels like hell. But what if you look at everybody coming together? What if you're looking at everybody giving hugs? What if you look at the miracle story after miracle story after miracle story that is all around us right now? There have been more acts of kindness right now than ever on this earth. Ever, 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 ever. In many ways, there are less wars than modern times, in modern times, than ever right now. And I'm certainly not making light of what's going on in Ukraine and Russia and around the globe. There is so much goodness. We focus on that and we have heaven on earth, even in, I'm never going to make light of it, The grieving process for a loss is a loss is a loss. And I'm not going to say this anything but a tragedy. I'm not going to go, well, this is a global shift. This is a reset. And so we should celebrate. No. We say, okay, this is a call to action. What can I do to help? That's what this is about. So from Megan, and we'll take a few more questions. We'll go into a meditation here. And these are brilliant questions. Thank you so, so much. How to not let this break, how to not let this break me and take massive action instead. It's heartbreaking. Megan, I want you to do the highest level you think you can. Tongue twisting. I want you to envision. First, stop watching the gloom and doom. Stop watching the lasers coming out of the sky and the this and the that and the doom scrolling, the fires and all of this. And instead, I want you to be a projector of goodness, a projector of greatness, Megan. I want you to be a projector of what you feel is possible. And I want you to bring that about with your mind's eye. Now, do I look at the news? Well, I've gone to now. I was reading all the stories I could because I was trying to process and understand. And now, for the most part, I'm just going to the headlines until I feel the sickly feeling. And that's maybe 3 or 4 headlines in. And then I have to jump out of it because it's all energy, Megan. It's all energy. Why do we want to bathe ourselves in the energy of this negative sickliness? You can look for stories of hope. Heck, reading that story of the kids in Montana today was, ooh, ooh, ooh. And that doesn't mean I make light of it. But understand, Megan, you're a projector. I'm a projector. We're all a projector. Gandhi was an incredible projector. Nelson Mandela, another incredible projector. We're all incredible projectors. It is what is the future that we wish to project. Now, if you're saying, well, I don't want to just take action in the 5D world, what can I do here? Well, make donations, talk about things, come together, share, say, this is what I feel pulled to step forward into. And then take action with all of your heart, soul, and might out of love. From Amelie. What is one step we can take moving forward from now on to make a difference in the world? Amelie, it's different for each and every individual. I think talking is essential. I think feeling into our heart and saying what feels right is essential. And then stepping forward into that is essential. It could be linking arms hand in hand. It could be going to our leadership and saying, you must take action to help us, to help the Aina, to help protect the land of people who may not know what to do at all during this time. It can be donations. It can be setting up a fundraiser. It can be starting a project to help. Large or small, it doesn't matter. But it gets to be something coming from here, not from here. Use this. Once you've figured out what it is, this can help get you there. But feel into the pull coming on your heart. Oh, wow. We'll take a couple more questions here. From Ari. No. I just feel the energy of this question, Ari. Do you think the land will lose any of its magical properties after this? No, 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 no. It can't lose its energy. We can put stuff on top of the energy. We can try to block the energy or cover the energy, but the energy of the land is so much greater than any of us. And it will remain. Ari, what I'd love you to do is travel to Maui in your mind's eye, travel there in your heart, or maybe even go look up a hike on Maui, look up the Banyan Tree on Maui, look up the bamboo forest on Maui, or wherever you want. You see, do I go there? Yeah, I go there. Lahaina's history is interesting. It was once the capital of Hawaii, the kingdom of Hawaii, before the capital moved to Honolulu. It was also a whaling capital, a place where whales were killed left and right. Talk about challenged energy to say the least. But they moved beyond those times. They moved to a healing place. They moved to a gentle place. They moved to a loving place. The energy is always there. It's simply where we choose to place our focus. Even if they built mega hotel after mega hotel, and I do not believe the people of Lahaina will allow that to happen, they will focus on rebuilding at an even more beautiful level. Even though we can say, what about a land grab? What about a this? What about a that? The people of Maui are smart, they're strong, and they're coming together more than you could ever believe. This will wake them up to an even higher level. And again, this will wake all of us up because we are all Maui. That energy cannot be removed. It cannot be drained. If anything, it will grow even stronger, broadcasting out to the whole world because of this experience. Ooh, from Limitless. Michael, what do you think about the 144,000 awakened souls to reverse the balance or the 100th monkey? Shouldn't we be there already? Limitless. Okay, so what Limitless is sharing is there are talks, there are writings, there are soothsayers, there are channelings that say when we reach a certain number of awakened souls who came here, or a certain number of souls who came here to help us shift humanity, then humanity will shift in a heartbeat. Or if we have X amount of monkeys vibrating at the same frequency, this place will change in a heartbeat. And Limitless is asking, why then hasn't this place changed already? Limitless, a few things. First, we get to let go of the old. Humanity is scared to let go of the old. And what you're seeing with the old guard, what you're seeing is the ego of humanity fighting back, fighting to hold us, fighting to keep us hiding under the table rather than allowing us to float up and fly free, to have this awakened consciousness on earth. So part of it is a letting go of the old. In fact, I had a pet who passed away years ago, Mole. Oh, most amazing, cute little vole of all things. A most amazing. We had rescued him and Jessica bottle fed him back to health. OMG. When he passed away and I channeled him, he said, Daddy, 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 I can fly now. Actually, I think he said just one daddy, but Daddy, I can fly now. Wow, that's cool. And he said, do you want to know how, Daddy? And I said, sure. He said, I simply let go of the ground. Limitless. Once we let go of the ground, which means letting go of the fears, letting go of the anxiety, stepping forward, shields down, heart forward, what I used to call the open-hearted warrior, not a fighter, but a lover. Then we shift. Is it coming? Yes. Will it come? Absolutely. Will we all make it through that time? That's the choice that we get to make. And that choice is made out of love, out of coming together as one. Why hasn't it happened already? Because we're still holding on and the power structure is still holding on. And we don't have to fight the power struggle, the power, the old power, the old guard. We get to love everyone up. But Michael, that's just warm and fuzzy. What's called energy? That's the frequency, the field of everything. It's the most powerful thing in the world. Do you think the universe was created out of anything but love? You think it was a random accident? Not a chance. Why does it go to greater and greater coherence or greater and greater structure or greater and greater complexity rather than chaos? Because it's built out of love. It's not built out of chaos. It's not built out of darkness. So this is coming and it will come faster and faster as we go to that place of love. Last question, and then oh geez, so many donations. I want to thank everybody that I can, and then let's get into a beautiful heart coherence banyan tree meditation from Johnson. My heart feels broken, like I have tears ready to come out at any time. How do you stand Maui strong? Johnson, cry. Cry, Johnson. Jessica used to say, and she's my teacher, and she has Kuan Yin and Pele energy to the extreme, um, because she is that new, strong, powerful, and that's a little bit of where Hana Bear gets that incredible power from. Of course, Hana Bear already came in with that and chose her Mama Bear and chose her wisely. Um, when I was in an intensive period of healing, Johnson, I was very walled up. I wasn't willing to feel the pain, the rawness, the sorrow, the grief, any of the stuff that I needed to feel or I got to feel to move forward. And so forgive me, Jessica, who's probably listening outside of the room. Um, and she is the truth police. So if I exaggerate even in the slightly, she will talk with me about it afterwards. Um, but if I would say I feel like I'm going to cry, she would say, "Cry, Michael, cry." She wasn't saying that facetiously. She wasn't saying that aggressively. She was saying, let those walls down and let the seawater that is inside of you, and that's what coursing through our veins is seawater. It's almost an identical match, mineralized at least. Let that seawater bring out the wounds inside of you to help you to heal at the highest level. So, Johnson, while I do not recommend doom scrolling at all, and in the first few days, guilty is charged, allow the tears to come. Allow the tears to wash your grief away. Not to forget, and not to say, all right, you've cried, you're done, you're healed. Doesn't matter that we've lost so many amazing souls. Lost is a funny term, but you get what I'm saying. But cry and allow yourself to heal. And then to stand Maui strong. Certainly, we can make donations. In fact, not only do we have Maui Humane Society here, and thank you so much. Oh my God, we've almost got $5,000 raised tonight. How does it get any better than this? Not only can we help the animals, but we can go to organizations like Maui Strong. I've got a link down below. Like other organizations, I've got linked down below to whomever you feel called to donate to, and donate. That helps Maui. And then live more from the heart. What would love do? How can we come together as one? How can I make choices and help others to make choices and help others who know the others who know the others to make choices that are from kindness and come from compassion and from enriching everybody's lives rather than simply profits, for instance, profits and power? How can we remember what it means to be a human being together as part of this global family of oneness? Maui has never turned anybody away. Maui has never said, well, you're from XYZ. You don't deserve to be on Maui and feel Maui's heart and feel Maui's love. And I know there's a history of immigrants and challenges there, particularly with the sugar industry. We won't even go there tonight, but the sugar industry has ended there. How does it get any better than this? Something better can come about. Maui embraces everybody with open arms, out of love. Maui will shift anyone with open arms, out of love. Maui is the same energy coming from the sun, Johnson. The sun has never said, I'm going to shine my light on you, but not on you. I'm going to give you love, but I'm not going to give you that. No, she doesn't do that. To stand Maui strong means to be like the sun, to be like Maui and shine our heart and our love and light on everyone. Period. End of story. Done deal. It's this. It's the hug. We can all do that hug. And this right now, do this with me. This. I mean, come on. This big bear hug. This is Maui strong. All right. I want to thank some people for some donations, and then we get into a beautiful Banyan Tree Lahaina heart coherence meditation. And for those who have donated, it's going to help, or who are considering to donate. Maui Humane Society is helping animals who have been made homeless. It's helping animals who've lost their mamas and their papas. It's helping animals who've been burned. It's helping animals who have challenges with smoke inhalation and so much more. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you, Kim Jacobs, for your donation, and Amanda DeVogel for your donation, Rosebud for your donation, Soul Puppy your donation, Heart Tarot Now your donation, Hanako, Mark J, Jane Arthur, Anonymous, thank you so much, Mary McIntyre, Ann Chapman, Light Mindset, Naringa Varanuskiene, another anonymous, Sunshine Day, another anonymous, Sandra Letham, Mary Thielen, anonymous, Jackie. Thank you. Oh, and Jackie, welcome to the Backstage Path. Thank you all so much. And I speak for all of the animals, and it's where we've gotten one of our kitties. It's where helped Sir Meowsers and helped Lumi. They have notches in their ears because they were once feral and they were rescued. And I'm not sure they're going, the notches in our ears were, well, you guys have got the most amazing medical care because you went there. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love for Maui Humane Society. How does it get any better than this? All right, let me take a sip of water here. Let's get into a meditation. And I don't even know if there's such a bumper sticker. There needs to be a bumper sticker. We are Maui strong. And each time you see the word aloha now, know that that's the pulse, that's the breath of the earth, that's the breath of oneness, that's your breath, that's my breath, that's the breath of the Aina, the land, that's the breath of the keiki, the child or the children. That's the breath of all of us coming together as one and shifting this earth. Yes, now is that time. All right, hold on. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. You guys are the greatest. The 100th monkey, that's you. We are. Can you do this with me? Isn't this silly? Isn't this ridiculous? Or as Hana Bear would say, "Da, da." That's love. That's the heartbeat of the earth. That's the heartbeat of Mother Maui. I can remember going through the bamboo forest with my crutches coming back from NDE number 2 and just feeling the life, feeling the love that's there for you. You don't actually have to go there right now. You can feel it inside of you. All right, one more sip and let's dive into this. And I see my notes all changing and jumping here. And so I wonder if my team has anything that they're trying to get me to share right now. I love you, Bavik. I love you, Anne. I love you, Aya. I love you to all of the members of the Dream Team. You guys rock. It's not just me, it's a whole team it takes to bring this to you here tonight. Oh, and yes, Thursday, crazy, amazing show on what the future is going to look like on remote viewing. It is going to be really cool. And of course, we have our School of Mystics on Wednesday nights. I would love to see you there. Looks like the donations just keep on coming and keep on coming. How does it get any better than this? Thank you so much. Oh, wow. There's so many more donations here. We've got Goldie. I send so much love and gratitude. And Will Henderson and Nikki Boland and Anonymous and Kelly Rowling and Anonymous and Celestiana, and they just keep on coming. Oh, I will try to thank more people at the end. I want to dive into a meditation here because I know it's getting late for some people here in different parts of the world, and for other people it's getting very early as well. All right, here we go. I'd like you just to relax for a second. You can take a nice deep breath in, but nothing too serious. Just breathe in, kind of relax your shoulders, and out. In Nice deep breath through the nose, down to the belly, and out. Ah. In and out. In and out. Can you feel that as we're breathing in together? And out. Can you feel a gentle smile coming over you? In and out. Can you see the room growing brighter and brighter? Even if you're in a dark room, it's starting to grow so bright. In and out. Feel that smile growing brighter and brighter. In and out. Now, as we keep breathing together as one, I want you to imagine in and out, a giant circle where we are all together, we are all holding hands, and we are all breathing in and out together as one. Out. In together as one, and out together as one. In as one, and out as one. And in and out. Now we're going to do something magical here together as we continue to breathe in and out as one. We're going to all take a trip. We'll take a trip to Maui. I'll take a trip to Lahaina. I'll take a trip to the magical Banyan Tree. Now, this trip exceeds all time, it exceeds all space, it exceeds all fossil fuels. We don't need a plane, we don't need a magic carpet, and we don't even need to click our heels. All we need to do is tap on our chest. You can go just like Hanover. Da! It's almost like there's no place like home, but even better. Da! And see yourself magically transported to Lahaina, surrounding with this beautiful giant circle of thousands of people we have here this evening, and watching this again tomorrow and the next day, thousands and thousands and tens of thousands more. We have the giantest, it's not even a word, greatest, most magical circle of love and light around this most amazing banyan tree. What's interesting is when we get to the tree, she's grayed. Her leaves, what's left, are dangling lifeless. The tree is very solemn. It's very quiet. But as we breathe in and look at this magical tree, something crazy, amazing starts to happen. You breathe in and you see her starting to change color. You breathe out, you can't help but send her love. You breathe in, you see her heal, her bark begin to heal. You breathe out, you send her so much love. You breathe in, you start to see her getting green on the edges of the bark, almost like a moss again. It's a healing moss. You breathe out and you send her love. You breathe in, you see her bark completely healed. You see this green, we can call it bandaging, this most amazing wrap around her, filling every crack, every crevice, healing every surface on her. You breathe out. You breathe in again. You start to see shoots coming out, shoots from the bark, shoots from the branches, shoots from the tip of every single piece of branch, of speckle, of twig on her. You breathe out and you send her love. You breathe in again and you start to see leaves coming off of the branches. Oh my God, there are leaves again. It may even bring you to tears. You breathe out and you send her so much love. You breathe in. The leaves start to grow even larger. You breathe out. You send her so much love. You breathe in, you start to see her filled with the most beautiful, lush foliage. You breathe out, you send her even more love. You breathe in again, and she is this full, bushy, magnificent tree. You breathe out and you send her love. And now, as you breathe in again, now you are taking in her love and light, and the whole room is becoming luminous before you. And you breathe out and you send her love, and you breathe in again, and she is glowing so bright, almost like the sun is right before you. And you breathe out and you send her so much love. And now it is glowing so bright. You're feeling so good that we're just going to take a second, take a minute to bathe and to bask with this tree, holding hand in hand, feeling her love, knowing that she has come back to life again, knowing that she is us, knowing that she is the heart of Lahaina, knowing that she is the heart of Maui, knowing that she is the heart of the earth. And we breathe in together as one and out. And we sit down beneath her. We breathe in as one and out. And we lay down before her. And we breathe in, we feel the earth, and breathe out. And we relax on the earth before her and feel our hearts opening, feel our hearts growing strong, feel our hearts healing and being recharged from the inside out. We breathe in and out. We are relaxed. We are at peace. And with her roots as large beneath her as her branches are above, we bask and bathe in her energy of love and light. As we do this dance of love and light back and forth between her, as we feel our souls and spirits at ease, at one, and rising up higher and higher still, up above the tallest branches, up above the highest clouds, up to the very top of the earth herself. And we float high while connected to the earth, out of love, out of light, and out of this connection between each and every one of us. We breathe in and out. In and out. Let's go silent for a minute, and I just want you to bask in this, on the land, on the sky. Bask in the love and light. In and out. Can you feel her love? Can you feel her energy? Can you feel her sense of joy? If you're really daring, you can imagine you're a kid again, or simply a kid at heart. And I want you to go over to one of her strongest branches. First, put your hand on it. Feel the smoothness. Feel the strength. Feel the power. And feel the love. Notice how sturdy she is. That's the strength of Mother Earth. That's the strength of Da'aina, which means the land. That's the strength of your heart as well. Soak it in through the hand, or even press your chest against her tree, against her trunk. Feel that energetic exchange. And ask her for permission. Permission to sit on her. Permission to climb on her. Or permission to shimmy or stand on and walk out one of her giant branches. She can hold you. Go respectfully. Ask for permission. She is there to support you. The branches reach out city blocks. In fact, there are roots from this amazing tree that reach from the branches down into the earth, from heavens to earth. That's part of what makes this tree so magical. And then the roots reach back up from earth to the heavens. Back and forth it goes. Imagine that you're a kid again and play on these branches, dance on these branches, or simply hold onto or dangle from these branches. Take in all of that childlike joy, not childish, childlike. Soak it all in. Feel her incredible goodness. Know that she wants us to heal. She wants us to be happy. She wants to protect us, her kids. We are all kids of the Banyan Tree. We are all kids of Lahaina. We are all kids of Mother Maui. And we are all kids of Gaia or Mother Earth. How does it get any better than this? If you can, first off, stay here as long as you'd like. Secondly, go in your mind's eye before lunch today or tomorrow and imagine having a picnic beneath her. A picnic surrounded by loved ones, surrounded by love, sitting under this most amazing banyan tree that is healed and bringing so much joy and love and light to the world. You can touch her bark and give thanks for her love and protection before you have lunch, and then go back to your normal, whatever that means, day. And it will be anything but normal at all. It will be truly extraordinary. And so as we wind down this meditation, you can feel your hands on the earth. You can feel yourself dancing in the tree. You can feel yourself flying and floating above the tree. Whatever is your experience that you want to do with this amazing banyan tree. And know she will always be here, always be waiting for you, always brighten your day, always bring you love, always support you and bring you the greatest joy. Just as you do for her, just as you do for the earth, just as you do by stepping forward into your power. The power of the banyan, the power of Lahaina, the power of Maui, and the power of Mother Earth, which is truly the power of you and the power of me, all together as one, all together as we. And yes, how does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? So thank you so much. This has been magical. This has been special. Yeah, somebody, Heen wrote, I love Earth. Absolutely, absolutely. Oh my God, you guys are just, the love coming off of you here this evening is so crazy, incredible. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. Now I'm going to go to tears. It's tears of joy. It's tears of oneness. It's tears of what's possible. It's tears of you and me together as one. And it's tears, yeah, as Heen's saying, not afraid. This is tears of aloha, of what we can do with all of our hearts connected. You want to talk about the 100th monkey and beyond? It's here, it's now, and we're doing it. So I'm going to go now and see what I can do to get us to bed. I send all my love your way. Again, thank you to our dream team. Thank you to you, to Aya, to Anne, to Bavik, to Nico, to Jessica, to Hanaver, to everybody, to Rue, I love you, to Miraku, and to you, to you, to you. Aloha and mahalo, which means thank you. And how does it get any better than this? Woohoo! Hug. Big, 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 big hug. Love you guys.
Every day there's a new horizon. Birds keep on singing, earth keeps on spinning. Time to toss any fears that rule you. Dance to vibrations, no limitations. Shine, hold the sunlight on your chest and fly. Look to the sky, let your spirit shine brightly, shine brightly. Oh, shine. Share the magic deep in your soul. The glitter around you. Live your greatest truth. Catch those dreams, swimming beside you. Yours for the taking.